Hey friends, welcome back. This is Ashley with Uncommon Roots Homestead, and today I am at our current house in our backyard, and I'm going to take a look and a walk around my garden. My garden has been severely neglected this winter. We had a really hard frost kind of out of nowhere, I guess early winter, late fall, and I didn't prepare my beds. I knew I should have covered them. I wasn't sure if it was gonna get quite so cold that I needed to, and of course it did. So everything died, and I just haven't taken care of it. So I am out today kind of surveying and seeing what we've got to do. So let's get to it. All right, so I have walked you guys around this garden before. It is in bad shape right now. When I say I didn't clean up to prepare for this video, I mean I did not clean up to prepare for this video. So I'm gonna climb up here and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we're working with. So, as you can see, this space has seen better days, but there is no better time than now to start looking at what we need to do. I mean, it is going to be spring before you know it. You guys have seen my potager garden over on the land. That's going to be my primary garden this year. I am going to garden here at the house, but we're probably going to be moving late into the season. So I don't want to get too far in or like too invested here just to end up, having to leave it all. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to really spend a lot of time in this space cultivating things that are really quick and easy, that don't travel well. So things like spinach and kale, lettuce, things that I know that we're going to want here at the house that we don't want to have to go drive to get and then come back. Also, I talked a little bit about this in one of my videos on how to plan your garden, but I did not plan this garden very well. If we stand over here, these two beds are primarily shaded in the summer. In the winter, actually, they get a fair amount of sun because those trees have all lost their leaves. But in the summer, those trees have leaves, and these are very protected beds. So I have treated them, last year I treated them kind of like brassica beds. They did okay, but not great. I mean, that purple cabbage, I planted him last spring. So clearly not great. I think it's pretty much the same size it was last spring. So it's not dead, but it's definitely not thriving. This bed right here, it's a 6x6 foot bed. It gets full sun. Everything thrives that I put in it. I'm probably going to dedicate this space to maybe one tomato plant. So like I said, kale. I'll probably put the spinach actually in the shaded bed because they like that kind of thing. But yeah, that's really like my best growing space here in the backyard garden. Up where we kept the peppers this year, those beds are perfect, and I'll probably do something similar over there. I'm not going to waste the space, but what I learned this year, and Lily's been using my garden bed as a bathroom, which is really fun. What I learned this year is that my zinnias surprisingly didn't care about the shade. They grew like crazy. So what I might do, I'm going to go ahead and move this arch trellis right here. I'm going to go ahead and move that over to the land. I'm going to do 3 more. So we'll have a row. I'll do a lot of, I think I'm going to do some smaller squash varieties of that and maybe a melon or 2, and then my beans. So all the trellises will be gone. This will just kind of be a clear space, and I'm going to do zinnias everywhere, just a ton of flowers, because I love cut flowers on the counter in the summer. When we put the house on the market, it'll be nice to have fresh flowers inside, and I want this space to be pretty. I don't want to waste it, even though it's really not ideal for most vegetables. There are some things that you can grow in the shade. I just have so much space elsewhere. I don't really have to, so I'm probably not going to, but I still want to do something here. So obviously you can see we've got this space over here that we need to deal with. We're probably going to put another bed there. That space also is pretty shaded, but I'm going to plant some perennials there that like the shade. So there's a couple of different flower varieties that I've been looking at that I'll probably go with there. Other than that, a lot of these things, like a lot of the containers, I have those like mini tower gardens. Those I didn't love growing in them. They were really cheap, like poor quality. I think they would be better for like maybe herbs, and I tried strawberries and we're just getting not enough. So I'll probably revisit that this spring. I might leave them here. I might take them over to the land. My herb garden here, I'm going to move a couple of those over and then keep a couple here as well. Kind of same thing. I want to invest most of my time and my effort in making the potager garden the place that I like imagine it to be. And then whatever's left, I'll kind of make do here at this house. And I want to make it beautiful. And I want, even if we do end up moving in the summer or like when the season is still ripe, I want this to be an enjoyable place for the next people too. I'm not looking to just like leave it. I'm obviously not going to leave it like this because it's definitely seen better days. But yeah, so that's the space. I feel like I've neglected this space. I know I did one video in the greenhouse. I did clean it out, but I haven't even been in there since. But, we're taking time right now and trying to not only enjoy the things that we have, but we're trying to set ourselves up for success. So yeah, we're trying to take this time and really enjoy it. And I want to create a place here, even though we won't be here much longer. I want to create a place that someone else can enjoy as much as I've enjoyed it. And I've learned a lot. And there are things that I wish I would have done differently, like when I'm talking about the shade and kind of where we place the beds. And I'm going to do everything I can to really set the next person up for success if this is something that they want to do too. By, investing in some perennial plants that grow well in the shade, maybe planting some really shade loving varieties there this year. I'll do my lettuce, things like that really, when we have those hot Tennessee summer days and the sun is just blazing, those are the kinds of vegetables that appreciate being in the shade. So those are the kind of things that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be cleaning up a lot. I want to bring in more mulch, just to make sure that we're, leaving this place better than we found it. And then this greenhouse, we are undecided what we're going to do with this. There's a cement slab under me right now that we had poured. And so it could stay here. But I think that we might try to move it. It's not really like super fancy greenhouse. It's just a kit actually that you can get on Amazon. I think it was like $400. It's just a 6x6 kit, but it is really great for, it's obviously all window, and so it's really wonderful for seed starting, and there's a lot of like great storage space, and we have all of that area over behind the garage on the property where there used to be a home, and so it's all gravel, so we could easily set a structure like this right on it and not have to worry about anything else. So we're contemplating moving this. We're not sure how difficult that would be. Obviously we don't want to take the whole thing apart and start over, but if it is something that we could maybe, even just kind of pick it up how it is and throw it on the back of the truck laying down and then move it, we'll take it. If we get into it and it's way too difficult, then we'll leave this, which means we'll leave this planting desk too, because we actually built around it. it doesn't fit out the door, which actually, now that I say that out loud, that might bring us more issues than it's worth. But anyways, that's kind of what's going on here over on our current homestead. We are just getting really excited about the new space, and I'm really excited this year to have some time while we don't live there to continue to build out the potager garden, to continue to kind of like set the infrastructure in place. And I know it's going to be a difficult season. I don't know. I know a lot of people do have, you know, allotments and they travel to their gardens. I've never had to operate like that, right? I have only ever had my garden or my growing space where I live. And there are a lot of advantages to that. You can get up early while the kids are still sleeping and get out into the garden. You don't have to worry about waking the kids up and bringing them with you, or, you know, making sure that Kevin can stay here and I can go there, or vice versa. There's going to be a lot of logistics this season, but I am excited for it. And I think that, you know, we've got a lot going on, but they're all really cool things. And like I've said before, we're only going to be in this season once. Like this is the only time that we're going to be kind of in this place, and so we're trying to enjoy every bit of that. We're excited to see what comes. In the spirit of showing you my growing space, I have this raised bed that I swear it's like something wrong with the bed. I have not been able to grow anything in that bed. I'm going to take you out front though and show you the pepper area. All right, so I am up in the front part of the yard. Here are those beautiful rose bushes. They're giant. Roses grow so quickly. We actually need to like super trim these down before the season starts. But this is the one bed that's kind of in the back of our landscaping. We can actually fit like 9 or 10 pepper plants in there, and it's worked really well. And then my beans, my green beans, I'm gonna actually miss that a lot. And then this was my first ever garden bed. It's so crazy. I had to literally fight Kevin for that garden bed. He didn't want to garden. He felt like it was just going to be neglected, and that, you know, I don't know. I think he thought he was going to have to take care of it, and he thought it was going to be ugly in the yard, and he liked his grass. Look how far we've come. It's crazy actually to think about it like that. That at one point we felt like we needed to protect our yard. So silly. But anyways, yeah, so these two beds, that my first bed and then the landscaping bed, I'll grow in those this year. I probably won't grow as like compact as I did. I'd had 29 pepper plants between those two beds, and we had a huge production this year. Our peppers just were phenomenal. I probably won't do that again. I won't need to. I have a lot of space. Some things like these grapevines that have fallen over with the wind, we're just gonna ditch those. They were a little sick this year. We're gonna miss the peach trees. These peach trees are just now getting old enough that probably this year we're gonna have a great harvest if we're still here by August. But you know, we can plant new trees at the land, and we've invested these here, and I'm excited for the next people to enjoy them. I have my little cherry tree, probably, I don't know, a year or two away from getting cherries off that as well. So there's a lot that we're gonna have to say goodbye to, and that's sad, but it's also exciting. New chapter. So thank you, friends. I appreciate you taking the time to walk around with me today and check on the garden and make a list of all of the things I need to do and clean up before we start the spring. Have a great day, and if you're not already, check us out on Instagram, Uncommon Roots Homestead.